whenever I tell new people about Bitcoin, sooner or later they ask, okay, so who is the creator of Bitcoin? Who runs this project? Who created it in the first place? And then you start talking about that it is an open source project, and we don't really know who the original creator was, because Satoshi Nakamoto could be a person, it can be a group of people, and no one is sure who that is. And that sounds suspicious to people. For example, when I told my parents about Bitcoin back in the days, and they asked me, so who created Bitcoin? And I told them, Satoshi created Bitcoin. We don't know who that is. They were suspicious, and they started thinking, well, maybe it is some kind of underground operation by the government. Maybe it's some kind of scam. Why is creator still anonymous? And so the reason why it is completely irrelevant who Satoshi is the same reason why it's completely irrelevant who Archimedes is. So just for fun, I opened Archimedes here on Wikipedia. And so it is a Greek scientist, mathematician who died in the year 212 BC. And there is no way for us to know who that person is. There is no way for us to verify that he was a good person. There is no way for us to know that he was a nice person and that he was good to hang out with. The only thing we have is his inventions and his gifts to the world, and we can apply them in modern science and use them in our engineering projects and really reap the benefits of his inventions without actually caring about who the person is, because the invention and the concept that he gifted to the world is completely decoupled from the personality of Archimedes. I think you see my reference, my thinking, but the same thing is true for any scientist that lived a long time ago. For example, Pythagoras, he died in 495 BC, long time ago. So there is no way for anyone to truly know that Pythagoras was a good person, that he had good intentions, that he wasn't a scammer. Maybe he scammed someone back in the days. We don't know. And the only thing we know that his inventions are very valuable to us today. We can use them. We can build things with his inventions. We can use them in science and engineering and really reap the benefits of the invention. And the same is true for Satoshi. I mean, this person can be a good person. It can be a bad person, but it doesn't matter, because the blockchain and the Bitcoin protocol, they are completely decoupled from whoever Satoshi was. Satoshi is not controlling Bitcoin. Satoshi is not in charge of the development. And the fact that Bitcoin is an open source project, anyone can take a look at the code, anyone can examine the code and make sure that Satoshi did everything correctly, and make sure that Satoshi didn't put in some kind of backdoor to be able to drain the Bitcoins in the future or something else. Anyone can make sure that the code is valid. It's completely open for anyone to read. And so these are the reasons why I think it is completely irrelevant who Satoshi is. And Andreas Antonopoulos talks a lot about this. And also another point of this video I wanted to make is to mention that it is actually a good thing that Satoshi is anonymous, because the whole idea of Bitcoin is to not have a central guru who runs the show. And we've seen that with Ethereum, that when the news that Vitalik died hit the internet, the price just plummeted, because there is so much. The success of Ethereum is so much tied to Vitalik in the eyes of the public. Although Ethereum is open source, although anyone can also just continue developing Ethereum, even if Vitalik would quit or something, Vitalik is so important for the public, for people who are investing in Ethereum. And because Satoshi is completely unknown, Bitcoin has to early on adopt to this and to develop routines and to develop a way to go forward without one clear leader. And this is exactly why we've had this scaling debate for such a long time, because there is no one clear winner, and it is an inefficient process to agreeing when we have several different groups and we don't have a clear leader. But it's the whole thing of decentralization. There shouldn't be one guy just telling everyone what will happen. And I think it's a very good experience for Bitcoin, for example, that we've had this tough debate because people learn, because we as a community learn how to make this process smoother whenever we want to make some other decision in the future. And as I mentioned, it is inefficient, but democracies are also inefficient compared to dictatorships, yet everyone prefers to live in a democracy. And just because something is inefficient doesn't mean the more efficient alternative is better.